Hello everyone and welcome back to Crypto Atlas. It is nice to see you guys again. Unless you are new to the channel, then it is very nice to meet you. Just so you guys know, my throat is very strained today, so hopefully this will be a little bit of a shorter video than normal. Normally I would give you guys an update and looking at the technical analysis on Bitcoin as well as with Orchid, but there's not much that's really going on there right now. We're moving sideways, so I would rather conserve on some time and just focus on the news, as well as we could take a look at the chart for Civic. If you guys haven't yet already, it would be greatly appreciated if you do hit that thumbs up like button. We're trying to get to at least 50 likes on this video. It would be greatly appreciated. And don't forget, guys, if you click that bell icon, that is so that you can be alerted to the latest news that's going on. With that being said, let's get into this. First bit of news, Bitcoin hitting $200,000 by December 2021 is now conservative according to Willy Woo. So Willy Woo, if you guys don't know, big proponent supporter of Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, very big advocate over on the Twitter side, very knowledgeable guy, and he talks a lot about this. So he's saying 200,000 now is a conservative point of view by the end of 2021. Bitcoin is more likely to reach $300,000 in a year's time, the popular analyst says, thanks to an amplified bullish feedback loop. Some quotes that he's been saying. The current market on average paid $7,456 for their coins. You all are geniuses. Well, hey man, I got some when it was at lower points in time. I got some that was in higher points in time. And yeah, so that's pretty cool that he was able to figure this out for the average for people. Some people are now getting in for the first time, obviously, and they're buying towards the top. But is it really the top? In relationship to what we've seen in the past? Yes. In the relationship to what we see over the next 4 years, this is not considerably the top. More than likely. I can't say definitively. You know, I'm not a financial advisor, but yeah, I really doubt that over the next 4 years, we're just going to keep progressing down and trying to fight against this. Again, because we're so close to 20K already for, what, the third time now? This reaccumulation phase coincides with spot market inventory depletion roughly 2 times longer and deeper than the last cycle. It will send BTC. All pointing to reflexivity increasing and amplified 2021 bullish feedback loop. Woo concluded. What do you guys think? Do you guys think that a $300,000 price point by the end of 2021, does that sound just like way too out there? Do you think we're jumping the gun on this too much, or do you think it's actually possible? Do you think 200,000 is even possible? Let us know your thoughts in the comments down below. Next up, broccoli and Bitcoin, a holiday love story. This is interesting. So this takes place over in Zurich, Switzerland. Crypto broker Bitcoin Swiss, however you say that, recently installed a blockchain-related Christmas advertisement in the Zurich main train station in Zurich, Switzerland. The ad, which is largely indecipherable to non-native speakers, involves a piece of broccoli, a shoe, and 1 lone Bitcoin. The translation of it goes to, you can eat healthy, you can exercise, but nothing beats Bitcoin investing in your future. So it's cool that they got a nice little homage to this. And the idea is how a lot of people for New Year's, they do New Year's resolutions and they want to kind of change things about their future. Like, oh, this is the year, all right, I'm going to go and get started and I'm going to lose weight and I'm going to do this and I'm going to get that, blah, 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 right? And you set up your yearly goals. So this is basically saying that nothing beats Bitcoin and investing in your future. You can invest in your health, you can invest in your exercise like everyone normally does. Sure, Bitcoin is going to make massive gains. That's more or less the message out of this. But guys, we all should still eat healthy. We all should still exercise. Bitcoin on Ethereum falls by $120 million in just 2 weeks. What is this? Okay, you guys may have heard about the fact that a couple months ago they made it to where you could move Bitcoin over to the Ethereum network, and it was called wrapped Bitcoin. And there were some reward benefits that took place if you decided to do something like that, but you can convert it right back. And so here's kind of some leading indicators why it moved off of the Ethereum blockchain. $120 million in just 2 weeks, like they said. Number of Bitcoins locked up on Ethereum is in decline after a fruitful summer and a bumper harvest. Why? The amount of Bitcoin locked up in Ethereum is on the decline as traders withdraw their Bitcoin from Ethereum's DeFi smart contracts and sell it on the open market. In the past 12 days, the amount of Bitcoin on Ethereum has declined from 153,591 on November 20th to 147,350 today, a decline of 6,421, or about $120 million, just when Bitcoin started its upward journey to surpass its previous all-time high price. Very interesting. Two things happened that might have caused the drop. First, the price of Bitcoin shot up like a rocket. Bitcoin increased from about $10,500 at the start of October to almost $20,000 this week. Bitcoin hodlers who invested in DeFi, smart contracts while waiting for Bitcoin's big break, might have cashed out to sell Bitcoin on the open market. Second, DeFi rewards have been drying up for months. In September, most of the liquid BTC has already moved into the Ethereum blockchain for yield farming. The ones in October were latecomers to the yield farming party who were still fine with the lower returns, explained Arthur Soshbach, CPO and co-founder of Paxful. All right, so do you guys think that Bitcoin is going to have even more move off of the Ethereum network in the near future, or do you think people will start allocating funds back onto the Ethereum network now that ETH 2.0 has been launched and more improvements are going to be coming in the future with this? What do you guys think? Let us know your thoughts in the comments down below. Don't get caught up in the hype as Bitcoin hovers around $19,000. So there's some key points that they really wanted to stress out in this article, and I'm just going to focus on these as quick taglines. So one they said is don't get caught up in the trend. Next is if you are going to invest, to do your own research, right? That is very important. To use play money. If you don't have money that's readily available, and it's not okay if you lose that money, don't risk it. The number one golden rule of investing, guys, is never invest more than what you're willing to lose. It's an investment. It's no longer in your hands. You're hoping that this thing is going to move forward. A lot of signs can indicate it, but things are unpredictable, right? That's just how life is. So use play money. Those are some key points. I just wanted to have that as a quick little highlight. Bitcoin, an overnight success, a decade in the making. Think about the way that that's worded. An overnight success, a decade in the making. So a lot of people are looking at cryptocurrency and they're looking at it as a get quick rich scheme, right? So the idea is that you invest in cryptocurrency and it just explodes overnight and now you made a bunch of money, right? When you're investing, people like Warren Buffett, which is referenced here, how did they get wealthy? It didn't happen overnight. It took a long time. It was a progressive movement up, and you got to be patient to really have the most lucrative gains. You can technically get lucky with this, but if you're assuming it's a guarantee with it, no, it's not a guarantee. So having patience, due diligence, research, all those things, right? Diverse portfolio for certain things. If you put everything, all your eggs in one basket, you could miss out on another opportunity and you'll kick yourself in the butt that you didn't put something into that other thing that you had heard about and you thought it sounded pretty good, but you're like, just put everything in this other thing, right? Could get lucky, but the more that you are just on one specific thing, then the bigger the risk you are taking of if it falls through, like you gain nothing. It's all or nothing kind of a thing. Instead of reading crypto Twitter, anyone looking to succeed in this market should listen to the traditional investor most hostile to crypto, Warren Buffett. I don't agree with this fully. That's why I wanted to highlight it as red, is because Warren Buffett doesn't believe in Bitcoin. He equated it to rat poison squared. If people listen to him, if I listened to him when I heard about him saying that, I wouldn't be up on my portfolio right now. I wouldn't be. Not as much if I invested my money elsewhere, if I even invested my money. So, he's wise. Yes. He knows some things. Yes. Does he understand crypto? No, he doesn't. Excuse me. No, he doesn't. So you shouldn't listen to every single thing that he says. One of the key things, though, is that when asked why more people don't copy his investing strategy, Warren Buffett famously answered, because nobody wants to get rich slow. Right? That I do agree with, is that a lot of people don't want to get rich slow. They're not patient. They can't wait on it. They cash in, they cash out. People sell high, they sell low, they buy high because they're too impatient. They play with their emotions and they get burned. They lose money on these investments. Buy low, sell high. If it's taking a while to go high, you be patient. You wait, right? Now, if you're worried because it's going down at all, that's why you do smart investing. You go ahead and take your loss at a small percentage down, right? A stop loss, very small. You got to figure out what your risk reward ratio is for these things. So if you're worried or concerned about it going down and you're trying to be just as profitable as possible, you are concerned with the money you put in, then you got to play it smart. It's better that you lose, say, $10 on something than if you lost $1,000 because you kept waiting for it to finally come back up. So that's why you be smart with these things. You can always re-enter a position, right? You lose $10, okay, you wait till the pattern shows itself as being just right, and then you get back in. The only reason people like Buffett or Barack, I don't know how you say that, or the Bitcoin millionaires were able to hang on and persevere is that they marched to the beat of their own drums. This is a good way to become rich. It is also a good way to march off a cliff, as has been quoted here. So while it may seem that the Bitcoin moguls get rich overnight, this is the kind of getting rich quick that the band Phish referred to when someone called them an overnight success. Drummer John Fishman said something to the effect of, yeah, we spent 9 years becoming an overnight success. Bitcoin's been around for how long? 11 years. If people got in on the beginning with it and they've been patient this whole time, they could be very, very rich today. If they waited 3 months, 6 months, I really doubt they became rich. People that got in, not in the very beginning, but in the middle, and then waited a month or 2 or 3, and then they sold, etc., right? They didn't gain very much, more than likely. So the idea is about patience. Patience is a virtue, and in economics, we also call it compound interest. So I would say that just be calm, be patient, guys. Investing in these things, keep to the fundamentals. Again, if you guys are enjoying this content, please don't forget to hit that thumbs up like button. We are trying to get to at least 50 likes. I hope you guys can hear me okay. I'm trying not to talk too loud, so again, I don't strain my throat. I do, just so you guys know, some voiceover reading of manga, which is kind of like anime, and I've been doing a lot of content for that other channel, so I've just been really straining myself here and pushing myself a little bit too hard. BlackRock CEO Bitcoin has caught our attention. So BlackRock has recently spoken out about Bitcoin, and they've been showing very strong signs with it. And BlackRock is a very big company. We're talking about a lot of money. Assets under management north of $7.4 trillion. And that was last year. Bitcoin has caught the attention and the imagination of many people, still untested, pretty small relative to other markets. This was from Mark Carney. From Mark Carney. Speaking Tuesday at the Council of Foreign Relations alongside former Bank of England Governor Mark Carney. Fink, sorry. So this came from Fink. BlackRock CEO Larry Fink. My apologies. He then added, can it evolve into a global market? Possibly. Keeping it a little bit vague, but still, it's a lot better than saying, no, it's not gonna, no, there's no way, no, right? Anyone that says like anything, no, zero chance, blah, 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 like, I automatically lose credibility in those people. When anyone says there's 100% certainty on virtually anything, I guess there could be a few exceptions out there of instances. But if anyone says 100%, I'm sorry. There is margin of error. There is the unexpectancy. If you believe that this is 100% not going to happen, this and that, I'm sorry. But you don't know everything in the world or the universe. Okay, currently only 900 Bitcoin is mined each day. Say what? Wait, what's that, guys? Less than 1,000 newly created Bitcoin every day. Really let that settle in, right? In another 3.5 years or so, guess what? We're going to go through another halving event, and that amount is going to get cut in half. More institutions are coming in right now at an alarming rate. And already that's shifting the paradigm about the volatility of this potential huge pullback and going back to 10K or less, or it going to zero, all that stuff, right? More people want it. And with new third-party applications, people being able to stake it in different formats, with the DeFi space especially, right? That takes even more off of circulating supply. More people are losing their Bitcoin wallets. More people are dying and didn't pass on their information, right? People forget their things. They accidentally destroyed their hard drive. There's so many different reasons. All of that takes place means less that goes into circulating supply. So the average person in the future, they're not going to own a full Bitcoin. There's almost 8 billion people on this planet, right? There's only ever going to be 21 million. We're not even at 21 million yet. Think about it. Currently, only 900 Bitcoin is mined each day. With demand increasing following the deflationary May halving, prices are likely to continue higher. Even Citibank has predicted a comparatively astronomical Bitcoin price by the end of 2021. Although BlackRock doesn't outright own Bitcoin, it has indirect exposure to the asset through MicroStrategy, a business intelligence firm that converted its balance sheet to Bitcoin. BlackRock is the largest MicroStrategy investor with a 15.2% stake in the company. So they own a lot of shares of MicroStrategy. Obviously, 15.2%, that's a lot. But does that guarantee that they're not also going to buy Bitcoin themselves? Personally, I think it would be wise of them to put something into Bitcoin. You have a company that works with it and has it, sure. That doesn't mean you can't have Bitcoin yourself. That's the beautiful thing about Bitcoin. You can have it too. It's like saying, hey, we have a company that manages gold, right? Okay, cool. They manage gold. Well, what if something happens to the company? That doesn't mean that you just get their gold, right? What if they had some flaw? They did some weird illegal thing and it's been confiscated. You don't have access to that, right? What you have is what you have. So you have in your own gold, you have in your own Bitcoin. And personally, I would not be surprised if next year, I don't know about before the end of this year because we've only got 1 month left, but I think that BlackRock is in the next year going to end up buying some Bitcoin themselves, which would be absolutely huge if they did do so. I don't know for sure if they're going to do it or not, but wouldn't be surprised. Next up, Visa partners with Ethereum digital dollar startup that raised $271 million. Credit card giant Visa today announced it is connecting its global payment network of 60 million merchants to the US dollar coin USDC, developed by Circle Internet Financial on the Ethereum blockchain. The digital currency is now valued at $2.9 billion. While Visa itself won't custody the digital currency effective immediately, the partnership will see Circle working with Visa to help select Visa credit card issuers start integrating the USDC software into their platforms and send and receive USDC payments. Circle itself is also going through the same fast track program. In turn, businesses will eventually be able to send international USDC payments to any business supported by Visa. And after those funds are converted to the national currency, spend them anywhere that accepts Visa. So we're talking about a cryptocurrency, right? This is starting to pull away from the bank and the financial institutions. So this is absolutely awesome. You might say, well, the USDC, it's directly tethered, right? To the US dollar, the 1-to-1 ratio. Okay, sure. But this is a cryptocurrency. The key aspect of this is the fact that it's starting to pull away from the necessity of having a bank and that process of how banks handle things. So this is very good news in my opinion. Let me know if you guys agree with me or disagree with me, but I think that's absolutely awesome. Let's see, did I have anything else here? Yeah. Imagine a capital. This is really cool. Imagine a capital marketplace that is for anyone who needs capital, or anyone who needs to offer capital that has the same efficiency that Amazon has for e-commerce, the same efficiency that YouTube has for content, effectively capital markets with the efficiency of the internet, which is essentially zero, says Allaire. And that will ultimately return trillions of dollars in value back to the economy. It'll reduce costs for every business in the world. It will accelerate the way in which individuals can participate in commercial activity and in commerce activity, in conducting their labor and interacting with businesses around the world. I think that's phrased beautifully. I love it. Going on to Ethereum 2.0. So much for me making a shorter video. I was like, I'll just put more news articles in and it'll make it shorter. Vitalik Buterin outlines next steps for Ethereum after Beacon Chain launch. As he has kind of identified here, this is some of the stuff that you guys should be aware of with the upcoming updates for Ethereum 2.0. Key features, the next major milestone are the transition of Ethereum 1.0 to proof of stake, the introduction of ETH2 Lite clients on ETH1, and data sharding, all of which were previously grouped under Phase 1 and 1.5. An important change in the current roadmap is the realization that the three steps are largely independent and can be worked on in parallel. Furthermore, enormous scalability improvements can be achieved by executing on the latter two features, as they would enable hosting rollups on a sharded data structure. Rollups are a layer 2 technology that offloads computation outside of the chain but guarantees its correctness through proofs stored on chain. Due to this, data sharding vastly increases the rollups room to maneuver and could enable more than 10,000 transactions per second as soon as light clients and data sharding are introduced. However, progress on data sharding and light clients is still at or below 50%, according to Bitcoin, consistent with estimates that Phase 1 will take at least 1 year to build. Progress on stateless clients and the Ethereum 1.x initiative is also at less than 50%, according to the chart. The cryptographic technology of polynomial commitments, which Bitcoin earlier said is the key to practical stateless clients, is also far from being complete. Similarly, work toward many other advanced types of cryptographic technology and an improved virtual machine is still in the early stages. After publishing the roadmap, Bitcoin urged to quickly implement EIP 1559, a proposal to burn the majority of the transaction fees collected by the protocol instead of offering them to miners. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Okay, now let's go ahead and take a look at CVC, because CVC, we're almost here on the daily close as of the time of me recording this video. It's 3:53 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and it was an absolutely explosive day. You can see the level of the volume right here just skyrocketed, right? We had some good movement take place back on November 9th. That was very, very large, and that actually continued on into the next day until a further retracement had corrected itself over the next 2 days, pulling all the way back down on November 11th, back down to around almost 9 cents range. Then it went sideways for a bit with a slight bit of a pull down here, and then we had another explosive range. Air of caution, guys. There's a high level wick that took place, a large pullback, and if we have a repeated history here, this could be another pump and dump type situation with red candles following afterwards. A potential retracement back down, primarily based on looking at the looking at it from a 15-minute time frame right here, looks to be forming what is resembling that of a head and shoulders pattern. As you guys can see here, the left shoulder being formed, the middle being the head, and then another shoulder, creating a baseline formation across this section here, starts to signify essentially a point where the top of that head down to the neckline, if a correction was to take place, a further pull back down would actually pull it back down right around to the 9 cent range, which coincides largely with what we saw before here, as I just mentioned, as of that point in time, back down on November 11th, November 10th period, right? You can even see another point that was formed as a level of support right around that as well was on November 17th. So this is a key point here. Another bounce off that took place November 21st, another bounce off that took place on November 30th. So right around 9 cents is a very, very, very important level for support. That is without a doubt. Looking at it on the daily candle as well, the RSI is showing that it is now entering into the overbought phase. So just a little bit air of caution there. But again, we're in a very big bull run right now. So it starts to lose a little bit of the validity with the RSI. We're starting to see some sideways action with Bitcoin. So it's kind of calming down before it tries to push again for the 20K. It has that volatility going up and down, but we're not seeing it past 20K and going into all kinds of other stratospheric spaces right now, right? So we're waiting to see kind of what goes on with that. The altcoin season typically starts to push more towards the beginning of January. So the whole calmness with this could be something that causes us to have a further decline down. As it is right now, anytime I see a massive candle, always an air of caution. You don't want to assume that this is just like the first major candle of another super major candle of another super major candle. I couldn't find any major relevant news for CVC when I tried looking for it online. If you guys know of anything else that may have happened with it to cause it to shoot up like this, by all means, you guys can tell me. And just kind of looking at this a little bit more in depth here, if we zoom in, you can see that it has had the daily open. It was essentially just slightly under that 21-day EMA, and the climb that's taken place with this has pushed itself up tremendously above that level right now. So if it maintains it like that, there's going to be a nice little gap between these, and overall it has been staying above the 21 EMA since November 5th. You had a slight pull down take place with a closeout that was still above on November 22nd. And then there was a daily close that did take place on November 26th that had a little bit of time frame up until just as of December 1st. as of December 1st, it started pushing itself out again. So slight little dip up here. I'm actually personally leaning more towards the bullish side for this, but in the short term, I am expecting a further correction down. I wouldn't be surprised if tomorrow has another red candle with it, as we've also seen that previously back here with the pattern itself. But I think in the long term, this is actually showing some really good signs of further continuation on. And just kind of looking at this back on the monthly side, you could see that the previous high was at about almost 19 cents, 0.1877, right around in that range. So if we can break 19 cents, then this is really starting to look absolutely awesome. And yeah, guys, further correction back down. Looking at this, that level that I mentioned earlier is a really key level. The one right at the range of 9 cents, 0.09 cents. So guys, that's going to go ahead and do it for this video. If you're new to the channel again and you enjoyed this, please don't forget to subscribe. If you feel this is valuable, feel free to share it with anybody else that you think it might be valuable to. Sharing this on things like Twitter, if you want to use any of the hashtags, people will use the $ symbol, and like and CVC, you can do things like that, or BTC as we talked about here, Ethereum, so ETH. I'm sorry I didn't really talk about Orchid today, but again, just kind of sideways action movement with it. Same thing with the Bitcoin on the charts, but some really cool information out there. And if you guys can, please make sure you hit that thumbs up like button. Trying to get to at least 50 likes on this video, and it really helps us out a lot, guys. That bell icon so you know when we have future videos. Drop a comment down below, any thoughts and opinions you had on this as well. And thank you guys so much. I will see you in the next episode.